Tom, it's great to talk to you today, man. We definitely don't want to spoil anything, but we know that Declan and Tom kind of have a brief history, more than a brief history, actually. How much can you tell us about their relationship?
Well, they're best friends ultimately. Declan and Tom have lived with each other. They came up through the regiment together. So you know the journey they go on. What they're each doing in this movie. The reason it matters so much is because of their history together, their friendship together. So yeah, it's a huge part of their combined journey.
You've always got one side of the best friends that looks out for the other, I think. So who do you think's looking out for who? Is it Declan looking out after Tom, or is it vice versa?
I think it's a bit of both, really. I think Declan is trying to achieve what he needs to achieve with causing the least amount of damage possible to his friendship, and ultimately he gets to a point where he has to outright betray his best mate. So I think he is trying to help. I think he just wants Tom out of there. That's his biggest aim. Is like, just get out. Like, I need you out so I
Right,
can do
right.
what I got to do. Right. And he can't do that because his mate just wants to get his missus out. And so he's like, "Oh my god! Like, how can this be happening right now?" So it's literally the worst case scenario for Declan.
Totally. So as you were diving into the scripts and actually going through more and more of towards the end of the movie, what was your favorite thing about Declan?
I think the thing that he gives, I don't think there is. He's not black and white, Declan. That's why he's so multi-layered. Because from one side of the coin, you look at him and you go, "Oh right, okay, yeah, he's a professional soldier. He's a really good friend." But then he's also really selfish. And I think as human beings, we through our lives, we might occasionally do something that is for self gain and self worth. And the we're approached with this moral compass of, do we, if we had to betray someone to achieve that, would we do it? And that's the ultimate question with Declan. To have the ultimate gain, would you act on the ultimate betrayal? For me, that's what I delved into, of like him ultimately being a professional soldier and a friend, but could he do something like that? Is he capable of that betrayal? And ultimately, yeah, he takes a selfish act, but doesn't mean he doesn't feel bad about it.
Absolutely. Now, I love the tactical aspect of this film, actually, and that realistic portrayal. So, how much of an asset was it to have somebody like Andy McNabb, given his service background?
It was completely priceless, man. Like, we had him there every single day to tell us exactly what we should be doing and when we should be doing it. And he was he was just an endless resource for us to call upon for stories and for knowledge about the inside workings of how this all goes down. Not just the action side of things, but the politics and what these guys would be dealing with on the outside, and the hierarchy of like people that you have to approve and things like that, where you make a decision in the field, that has to then be looked upon by the government and by all these different people in Cobra and stuff. So it was it was really interesting to see how the inner workings of the special forces, works.
No doubt about it. Really quickly, Tom, before I let you go, no spoilers, but given the way this thing ends, how much are you hoping for a sequel, man?
I think a sequel would be really fun. Actually, I think a sequel would be where the story really begins, especially between the relationship between Tom and Declan. Um, and I think there's a potential like Hobbs and Shaw element to that relationship. Where they have to battle it out, but then ultimately have to come together for a common cause, and they're working towards the same thing. But Tom's still pissed at him, and I think they have to kind of work that out together. It could be really interesting as a double act sequel.
I think it'd be awesome, man. And you guys will find out why I say that when you see SAS Red Notice on March the 16th. Tom, man, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, James.